Welcome all, I'm your host, Mr. TrevBot3030. I just wanted to start this video by saying that while there may be some sensitive topics talked about, I'm not going to give you a trigger warning because I'm not going to be showing anything and I'm not really going to be talking about anything in too graphic detail. Any of the videos that you want to see that I'm talking about, you can find online, but I'm not going to be showing it to you. So go find it and do with it what you will. No super crazy fancy intro in this video. Just wanted to dive right into the pork and beans, so to speak. Hey man, what are you watching? Oh, it's this guy who has this old herbal remedies book, and he just guesses what you have wrong with you, and then he reads the cures for those from the herbal book. But how does he know what's wrong with you? Dude, I don't know. Somehow he just knows. He just guesses what you have wrong with you. Yeah, he's crazy. He uses mind powers or something. I don't know how he does it. He somehow knows what's wrong with all of us and tells us what's wrong with us, and then tells us how to cure it with herbal remedies. Interesting. So definitely somebody in my audience is dealing with hemorrhoids and piles right now. Dude, I have that right now. How did he know? Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy how he somehow always knows what's wrong with whoever is watching. I don't know what piles is. I'm assuming if you have hemorrhoids, you're probably not making piles, but he kind of sucks at reading though. Yeah, I don't really think that he reads a lot, so when he has to read this out loud, I think that he really struggles with words and reading in general. Stone root, wild violets, witch hazel. I don't know which one. This is weird, but for some reason I just can't stop watching it. I know, I can't either. Skullcap, St. John's wort, and valerian root. All right, anyway, let's just get into the freaking thing. In the last video, I was completely out of focus the entire time. And the reason I was out of focus the entire time is because when I closed the swivel screen of my camera, I think I clicked in the corner. And so the entire time it was auto-focusing on Pikachu over there. It kept focusing on Pikachu's face instead of my face. And so this time I'm going to try and maybe just keep Pikachu out of it. And also it's because I was moving a lot and shaking the camera, and it was struggling to focus. And again, it kept thinking that Pikachu over there was who it needed to focus on instead of focusing on me. So, and I know what you're thinking. Why don't you just set up your aperture so that you can be in focus? Well, look, I'm just trying to make it as easy as possible on myself to record these videos. And I want to look right into the camera. So I got to close the swivel screen so I won't be talking. I just want to make videos and not be thinking so much about all the camera operations and whatnot. All right, I'm doing the best I can. Okay, just give me a break here. But right now, it's just a lot of work to write and record and do all these things. I'm just trying to get into the motion of it. And I want to put out a video every week, and I'm not to that point yet. So later on, I'll buy a camera just for this. Just give me a break. Plus, you can have a little bit of a different background, maybe. I don't know. Instead of having this wall of crap, you can have this wall of crap. It's a different wall of crap. Anyway. But welcome back. Thank you guys so much for joining me. As always, we're going to be covering the most wild and intense stories on the internet that I can find. Okay, not really. I've already said before that I'm not really covering anything groundbreaking. I'm covering things so that I can send this video to my mom later and she'll know what's going on in the world. So this video is for my mom. And if you're not my mom, thank you for being here. And if you're one of the 95% of people who are watching this who are not subscribed, just freaking subscribe to me already, all right? Come on, help me out. The more subscribers I get, the better stuff I can do. So if you're watching this and you're one of the 95% of people who are not subscribed, just do it so we can play Jackbox or we can play Wii sometime. Today, we're going to be talking about the P. Diddler. Okay, and I know that other people maybe have been calling him the P. Diddler. I'm not trying to get into a lot of trouble in terms of the YouTube DeepMind algorithm or whatever it's called, scanning the videos and hear me say the rap name of Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, okay? I don't want people to hear me say that. So we'll just call him the Diddler for now, okay? And even that's probably a word that may get me in trouble. But anyway, I'm not trying to get a strike or anything on my channel. It's very new and I need to keep going. But yes, I'm talking about Sean Combs, the guy who brought us Bad Boy for Life. And also apparently just a lifetime of bad decisions that he somehow kept under the wraps. So buckle up, grab yourself a cup juice, grab you some Haterade, whatever, and buckle up. I already said buckle up. We'll buckle up twice just to be extra safe, right? So the Diddler's been in the news for some really dark things and disturbing reasons, obviously. Everything sort of came out when his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, also known as the R&B artist Cassie, dropped a bombshell back in November of 2023. In her lawsuit, Cassie accused him of physical abuse, SA, and a bunch of other stuff. And recently a video of him like physically abusing her in like a hotel room or something like came out. And the video showed him like running after her and like grabbing her by the back of her neck and like throwing her down and like repeatedly kicking her. He made an apology video about that, which we'll get to. But for now, let's just do a quick like rundown of the timeline of events. So in November 2023, Cassie files her lawsuit. She claims that the Diddler physically abused her multiple times, forced her to engage in SA with male prostitutes, and threatened hers and others around her. Early 2024, music producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones also comes forward with allegations. He claims Diddy SA'd him, forced him to sleep with sex workers, and even made him work while naked. And then in February of 2024, Homeland Security raids the Diddler's house. They raided his homes in Los Angeles and Miami, and the raids are linked to allegations of trafficking and other illegal activities, obviously. There are like videos of P. Diddy like pacing around outside of his homes, like he's clearly nervous. And news said that the raid could last anywhere from like weeks to even months because of how much evidence they were finding. Files and videotapes and photographs and everything. And there was even like a rumor that he like escaped to Mexico. And he seemed to kind of disappear for a while all this was unfolding. But then he came back and people started seeing him around and acting like everything was normal. And apparently it seemed like he might be getting away with this. I mean, honestly, I know when this was happening, it felt like to me, like I hadn't heard anything about it. I kind of had assumed that he had escaped the country and that he was going to be getting away with it all. I really had kind of forgotten mostly about it until recently. People started like seeing him like out and about and like at least back in the country, just going about his life like nothing had happened. So it felt like he was getting away with it. So basically what brought him back into everybody's front of mind is what I mentioned earlier, that video surfacing of him like physically Cassie. And the reason that's like so significant is because apparently it came from the raid of his house, and this video was uncovered, which of course like makes you think like, well, if this is what he's doing in a hotel lobby with cameras that are being, that are recording, and anybody could have like walked out in that hotel and saw him like beating her up, like if he's willing to do that, like there's all these other allegations of things behind the scenes seem a lot more plausible now. And the news is reported on this, so you can go and find this video, anywhere on YouTube. But basically you see him running down the hallway, grabbing her by the back of her head, throwing her down the ground and kicking her multiple times before picking up what I assume is her bags and taking them back to his hotel room. And so again, they dated for over a decade. And so you can imagine if he'll do these kind of things in public, or at least in a place where other people are just around the corner, you can't imagine what kind of things he would possibly do behind closed doors. And so after all this came out, he released an apology video. If you watch my Ellen video from last week, I talk about how apology videos usually seem very like fake and forced because there are things that people got in trouble for like a week ago and they haven't had time to really think about the things they've done and the wrongs that they've done, and they're not really like taking the time to learn from it and then make an apology. And so I sort of made the argument that good apologies take time, but good apologies also take understanding what you did wrong and learning from that. And obviously if Diddy is making an apology video because this came out, it doesn't really feel like he learned anything from it. Obviously this is just like to save face, and it's kind of like what's the point of saving face right now? I think for the most part we all kind of feel the same in that we think that P. Diddy is an absolute trash bag of a human being. For the most part, I think we all believe in what we've heard about him and the SA and the trafficking and just like the terrible things that he's done, the things that Cat Williams has brought up. And like, I feel like we all believe those are true. So for him to to try to save face because we saw a video of him and Cassie is such a weird thing to finally apologize for. I'm sure he's ruined so many people's lives. And yes, like he should definitely feel guilty about what he did to Cassie, but he doesn't. I mean, there's no way that he does because he wouldn't be making an apology about it now. And that was just one of the actions that she listed in her suit against him. Apparently it was settled a day after it was filed. She was seeking $30 million. There's not an official number that said like how much she actually got. She also like accused him of like violating her in her own home when she tried to leave him. He often punched her, beat her, kicked her, and stomped on her, which you can see in that video, so we know that's clearly true. And apparently he blew up somebody's car after he learned that they were romantically involved with her. And sources are saying that it was Kid Cudi's car. That's so interesting. And it's not, you would think that would be like, oh dude, is there like a Man on the Moon 3 song that I just completely missed? That's crazy. And it's not even that he blew up his car when he wasn't in it. It was supposed to be a car bomb. Like he was literally like targeting Kid Cudi. Apparently they had a brief fling back in 2011. Interesting. Really gives you some perspective on Kid Cudi's song Up Up and Away. P. Diddy and Cassie met back in 2005 when she was 19 years old.
Why don't you take a seat right over there?
And he heard her first single playing in a club. And with him being the talent mogul that he is, he wanted her to sing on Bad Boy Records. He was sort of known for being able to find up-and-coming artists and shine light on like what the next big thing would be. And that ability really was he would find somebody talented, mold them into the next big thing by basically controlling their entire lives. We've seen this with multiple artists who have came out and said that Diddy encouraged them to, actually required them to consume alcohol, take drugs, get prescriptions that they didn't need, while he demanded obedience, loyalty, and silence for all the bad things that he was doing. And of course, this was all in exchange for being rich and famous. It's like paying your dues, but the dues like really suck. Even though a lot of these artists, I mean, Cassie already had a single playing in the club, it seemed like she had paid her dues, but in order to get that next level, in a way it seems like this is somebody who cares about you because they want you to become famous and make all your dreams come true, and you, in a way, you owe it to them to do whatever they ask. Again, they're demanding obedience. And once they have control over everything, your business, your personal life, everything, they've made it where you have an inability to escape because your entire life balances on them. And within a year of signing to Bad Boy Records, Diddy was in complete control over every aspect of her life, her business, her personal life, her career, everything. And she's even been quoted saying that she didn't want to be romantically involved with P. Diddy in the beginning, that it felt like he was like a father figure to her because he was 20 years older than she was.
Why don't you take a seat right over there?
She was 19 and he was 37.
Why don't you take a seat right over there?
And then every event she attended, every time she sang, any concert, whatever, was completely controlled by Diddy or his management company. And so you wonder what happened from her going not wanting to date him to suddenly dating him and being involved in a relationship with him for over a decade. And it's sort of like a tale as old as time now. We've kind of all seen it in multiple times where usually an older, powerful man will take a young girl under his wing and through coercion or, making them feel like to be in the crowd or to continue to be successful, they have to do these things. So obviously with a drug-filled lifestyle and Diddy becoming her main source of everything, drugs, alcohol, fame, wealth, she had to sort of give into that. So it makes you wonder, for over a decade, at any point did she actually enjoy being with Diddy, or was it all completely her just feeling like she had to do these things in order to stay famous, keep making money, not be unalived? A few years into it, she's blindly following whatever Diddy says out of fear of, again, being abused, no longer being famous, and again, maybe even being unalived. Because he owns the label, he holds her future in his hands. So if she's not giving him what he wants, she has no future success, is what she believes. There's also claims that within a month of their relationship actually beginning, he was already, how do I say this, sourcing her out to other men. Don't know what the best way to say that is. But basically requiring her to be with other men while he watched. And a little thing he called a freak off, or FO. Freak off doesn't even sound that interesting. There's so many other, never mind. That's a fine word for it. We shouldn't call it, we shouldn't think of any other words to call it. Although freak off just sounds stupid. But at certain points, he required her to be in these freak offs every week. And so the freak offs would take place in different hotels, in Miami, in New York, in Beverly Hills, in Los Angeles. It just seems so crazy to think that this was happening while I was just bumping like Shake Your Tail Feather. Is that a P. Diddy song? Hold on. Dude, the Bad Boys 2 soundtrack was awesome. I don't even think that has anything to do with P. Diddy. Okay, Murphy Lee was awesome. Okay, P. Diddy is in that song, so that is at least somewhat right. Man, that song ruled. Miss you, Murphy Lee. You would have loved 2024. P. Diddy's not even in Bad Boys 2. Bad Boys 2 is the only one I've ever seen. Yeah, anyway, that album was sick. That's one of the albums that I had, like, I had a CD of it. And it's not that I necessarily am like thrilled by any of this like coming out, but I want all of this to come out. This is one of those things that seems like people are never caught, and the rich and powerful are never held accountable for what they have done. And this seems like it could possibly be one of those cases where we actually see somebody who's rich and powerful not get away with everything and actually be held accountable for some of the things that they've done. Of course, he has so many people in his circle who are going to be protecting him and watching out for him, because they are also have that same power struggle where they get their power and money and fame and everything from him. And so it seems like at this point that he's cooked. Like, there's nothing, how could you possibly get away from this? Even if he just gets sort of caught on what we know already and we don't know anything else and nothing else comes out. I just feel like hopeful that this is one of those things where we are holding celebrities accountable. We're holding rich and powerful people accountable at the same level that normal people are, because, you know, a lot of times it seems like laws are only made for the poor because they can't afford to pay for what they've done wrong, right? And so, and again, I think I'm not sticking up for poor people and I'm not sticking up for rich people either. This is not like a class war kind of thing. It kind of is in a way, but really what I mean is everybody should be held accountable. Sometimes it feels kind of good to see somebody actually be held accountable for their wrongdoings, especially ones that have gone on for decades and they've hurt so many people and they've ruined so many lives. The least that could happen is that they're actually just, again, held accountable and that their lives are ruined in some way. Overall, I just wanted to make a video about this because it's been going on for so long, and I think it seems like there's all these different sagas of things that are happening with the Diddy situation, and this last one seems like not necessarily a nail in the coffin, but definitely seems like one of those things where all of us normal people can finally see what is happening. Like, we can watch this footage of him, beating up Cassie from YouTube. It's just right there. We can all see it, and we can see his apology that is, obviously like very scripted and not. He doesn't feel bad for what he did. Obviously, he just feels bad that he got caught. I hate that people have had to live through, but it feels good to see the light of hopefully some justice happening, because so many of those people deserve justice and they deserve payback in some sense. Thanks so much for watching again, guys. I'm working on doing a video every week, and I'm going to make a channel update video so that it kind of gives you guys an idea of what I want to start working on. But I sort of have 3 categories that I want my videos to fall into. So one video is like a current update for my audience that I think my audience would be really interested in seeing, and of course my mom. Another video would be something that's a current event that I'm really interested in, or maybe not even a current event, just I want to talk about something that I'm really interested in. And then a third type of video that I want to start doing is going to be just something fun that I want to do. And I'll explain that more in like videos that come up, but I want to have the opportunity to make videos for you guys, make videos about things that I think are interesting to share with you guys, and then just make like videos that are just fun to make and fun to edit and put together, that maybe aren't as serious as this and maybe don't have like the level of editing that I put into this, but they're just like a fun watch. So anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. Again, if this is the first time you've ever watched this video, please like and subscribe and share it with your friends. Put a lot of time and effort into these videos, and the more people that watch, the more I feel like energized to run and make these videos. And again, I know that like this topic has been covered by a lot of different people, but I'm sharing this for my mom. So like and subscribe and share this video so that my mom can be proud of me. Anyway, thank you guys so much and have a great day. Bang, bang, cups and rubbers. Bang, bang, rubbers and cups. Bang, bang, yip, yip. Bang, put him in jail, put him in jail. Bang, bang, cops and robbers. Bang, bang, robbers and cops. Bang, 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 put him in jail, put him in jail.